Here we go on this live broadcast. Thank you so much for joining me on this spiritual transmission as we talk about a popular topic. In this spiritual war, we have two key players in the earth drama, such as the Annunaki. Here we go on this live broadcast. Let me mute that. Okay. That's just my speakers. But and also not just the Anunnaki and the different hybrids of Anunnaki, which a lot of people don't really talk about. It's just some blanket term, Anunnaki. But we're also going to be talking about the Indigo Children. So I welcome all of you as we come together, and this is our sacred space, our time Tuesdays and Saturday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, I wanted to try to lower my microphone a bit. Or just not shout as loud, right? Tonight. Let's keep it right about there. Yeah. So, let me light my candle and get this frequency started. I missed you guys. Since I was at the alien event I had talked about, I missed Saturday and Tuesday's live, but here we are today. Gonna get right back on schedule. So I thank all of you for your patience with me, and we'll have this makeup time together. And I know a lot of you are becoming friends with each other in the chat, so we have a great group, you guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and feel free to participate in chat. Feel free to even disagree with me if you don't, resonate with what I'm saying, but please be respectful to all others who are here as well. And just so you guys know, this is coming from the Emerald Order point of view, not a New Age point of view. And so there is a big difference, and we'll be talking about that tonight. A lot of you who are regulars already realize the difference, but this is a great time to be alive in this spiritual awakening and ascension. Because so much is happening. 33, I saw that 33 already. So much is happening on our planet in this unfolding drama that includes the human race, but also hybrid human races, hybrid alien human races, including guardian races and fallen angelic races. Okay, so including intruder races, artificial intelligence races. And so there's so much playing out, and we also cover on this channel the secret space program, which involves, you would say, dark black projects, military, secret parts of the government, secret parts of the military, and the whistleblowers who have come out and talked about these covert, behind the scenes groups, including what people call the cabal or the deep state. Okay, we're in a spiritual war, and it's playing out in many different levels. It's amongst the starseeds. It's playing out amongst the Indigo Children. Certainly playing out with the Anunnaki races. And so just realize, you guys, the darkness loves to pretend to be light. This is how they trick the human heart and mind, by pretending to be like us, to pretend to be like the Guardians, like Galactic Federation. That is a perfect example of fallen angelic Anunnaki races pretending to be guardian races under the flag of Galactic Fed. So that is just one of many false teachings out there on the internet. And so I will also talk a little bit about my time that I spent this weekend at the secret space program event to be honest, there wasn't that much secret space program info. It was mostly just about alientologists and people talking about the aliens and different things going on. So I did meet some of the people who are actually part of the Ancient Aliens TV series. So that was a great honor, and so it was cool to even see some of these certain individuals speak and have you get to spend a whole 2 hours with them. And so I'll talk more about that, but I just want to say hello everyone to the live. I welcome all of you guys tonight. Just let me say hello real quick here. We got Leo Murray. Welcome, brother. Good to have you, man. Much respect. We got Pink Lemon in the house. Hi, Machiwa. Thank you, Pink Lemon. Machiwa to you as well. We have Hayoko White Elk 369 in the house, sending that positive vibes and energies. Thank you, Holy One. Bless you. And Elephant Tusk, Machiwa to you, Holy One. We got Corey Martin, Machiwa. Sarah Holder, blessings, Starseed. Blessings, Holy Ones. Thank you so much, sister, for being here. I just want to say to you that we're trying to reach you. The team is trying to reach you. So it's regarding since you don't have a Facebook, you're missing out on our conversation. We want to invite you to the conversation. Even if that's just temporarily creating a temporary Instagram account. So reach out to me, Indigo Wizard, Celine, or I'm not sure Sir Madism is knowing what's going on, but please reach out. Thank you, sister. And thank you for being here as a moderator. Soul Stars of TVF, Machiwa, and Grand Evening, Agape, Omni Love, much respect, Holy One. Thank you so much for that positive information and greeting. And some of you may not know, agape in another language, like Native Americans, is another reflection of omni love, unconditional love, source God, right? Law of one. So L. Nixon, Rider of Dragons, thank you for being here, Holy One. We got JJ in the house. What's up, Holy Ones? Glow in the dark. Hey, Omni Love. So happy to be here with you. We're so grateful to have you with us, you guys. We need more awakened people coming together. That's how we get shit done. Okay? In the spiritual world, spiritual communities, we come together. And just as I was saying, the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025, this year is about actually coming together. Real life, in person. Going to this alien event in LA this weekend is a perfect example of that. And it was a great honor and surprise. I met one of our members here, Gina Sutton. A special shout out to you, sister. It was a great time just to hang and socialize. And even though we were super busy during the actual event, a lot of us, including some of the people from Ancient Aliens, were out in the bar area socializing. Excuse me. Excuse me. So thank you for visiting. And she also had a great time at the alien event. There's more events coming up, you guys. There's some events in more events in California. Some of them are like an Indian, what's it called? Indian Wells, I think. And also there's another one coming up in September in Vegas. Even if I might even be speaking at some of these events. I started talking to about one of the two organizers who sound interested. So you guys might be able to come to the event and meet me, and we'll all hang together again. Why not? Vegas is a easy place. The airport is awesome. No problem getting a flight to Las Vegas. And even though it's Sin City, who cares? We're not bringing sin into the city. We're bringing conscious awakening into the city. That's what these events are about. That's what coming together is about. Star seeds, indigo children, coming together. Our light bodies coming together, creating a larger group light body. Machiwa. G-Light, sending love, light, and omnicristos love. Christos family. Good to have you, G-Light. Woohoo! Party time. Star Seeds in the house. Jeffrey Eaton in the house. Hello, fam. That's what we are, a family of consciousness incarnating on earth in the drama intentionally. Machiwa. Thank you, brother. Indigo Wizard in the house. Good to have you, brother. Thank you for watching our communities back. We have a few moderators here, you guys. So Indigo Wizard's one of them. If you guys have trouble or questions, please reach out to one of these moderators. Thank you, brother. Good to have you, man. And if you guys want to tag me, just like Sandra did right there, just write Christos Avatar TV and it'll be tagged. So it's easier for me to see. And she wrote, hello, missed you. Great to be back here. Yes, it is great to be back. Warren B in the house. Machiwa. Josie Raw 369. Thank you, family. So happy to have you. What up, Machina Chiwa, says Gina. Bless you, sister. Yeah, thank you, guys. It's already over 100 people, so let me get started, you guys. And this is a spiritual war. And when it comes to these intruder races, the Guardians call them intruders. They weren't invited. Some of these races were actually kicked off the planet before, such as the Dracos. You know, the Dracon race called the Dracos, they were actually taken off planet. And so were the Nephilim, taken off planet. Doesn't mean they haven't returned or come back, but just realize that there's something interesting going on that most humans are not aware of. Because this is our planet. It's humans' planet. Not the Nephilim, not the Dracos. They're uninvited, intruding races. When you get some extraterrestrials coming to our planet and hybridizing, either through rape of human females, or, of course, these races are master geneticists, much more higher, under technologies than our earth scientists. So these master geneticists are creating hybrids. So, of course, there's all kinds of talks about clones and all that. We're not talking about clones. We're talking about actual hybrids. And, excuse me one second. While religious people will think that's impossible or think it's automatically all evil or bad to create hybrids. Impossible? No, it's not impossible. Are they all evil? Dark? No, they're not. So you make a biological body and have, just like humans, you're going to have a soul essence going through the fetal integration, the fetus, while it's in the mother's womb. The spirit essence goes into the fetus. Okay? The woman will birth this being, which is now a hybrid, alien, human, extraterrestrial. Not just human, not just the original alien, but a mixture of the two. This is exactly what is an Anunnaki nowadays. This is exactly what is, not only though limited, they're here on Earth looking like humans, but they're also on planet Nibiru and other star systems like Sirius A and others. So that's considered a negative hybrid, a negative agenda. The Guardians straight up call these negative aliens fallen angels, fallen angelics, FAs, F fallen angelics. So these FAs are creating hybrids as a military strategy. The Anunnaki have done it, the reptilians have done it, certainly other races have done it, but the main ones are the Anunnaki and the reptilians and the guardians, bringing in the Indigo Children. And there's races of star seeds here. Those are hybrids too. But quite frankly, all humans are hybrids. What's happening on Earth is a guardian hybridization project. Now that probably confuses a lot of 3D people who don't think about aliens or don't think about even spiritual life that much, that often, but realize it's very much part of our spiritual awakening, part of our ascension process. It affects our ascension. It either is helping or hampering the human ascension process. What is ascension? It's spiritual evolution. You don't just stay at the 3D earth plane. You evolve beyond the earth plane, and you don't even necessarily stay on planet Earth. Most humans will go into a higher ascended level of Earth, because not only do individuals ascend into higher dimensional realities, the planet bodies themselves, the portion that will ascend, goes into the higher dimensional realities. So you call that an adjacent Earth. We have Earth, and its ascended level is considered an adjacent Earth, but a higher version. And you don't just call it Earth, you call it, for its level at that level, it's called Tara. So Earth, a portion of Earth ascends and becomes Tara. There's a process of, when it comes to actual individuals, where actually a lot of the races go through inner Earth before they go to Tara. But depends on your strand activation. When I say strand, I mean DNA strand activation. Most humans are between 2.5, 2 full strands and a half. Between 2.5 and 3.5. That's the average of consciousness and DNA strand-wise, biological DNA strands. So it's actually not the chemical, we're talking about the template. DNA template, which has to do with a more advanced concept called the morphogenetic field, but that represents all the different incarnations you're going to be living on your Earth cycle, because it is a cycle that repeats. If you don't get off of this planet, if you don't spiritually ascend into the higher dimensions, you're going to repeat this huge cycle and live 12 more lives. Do you really want to do that? Right? You don't have time to be messing around. You want to get to realize and understand what's happening on Earth. It's a spiritual war playing out. It's playing out on many different levels. Okay? It involves politics. It involves military and government. It involves aliens, hybrid humans. It involves Space Force. It involves secret space programs. It involves colonization and time travel, teleportation. Those are some concepts that people just cannot believe or resonate with. But a lot of you coming to channels like this, Emerald Order teaching unity consciousness, Christ consciousness, you definitely have a much more open mind, because parts of you resonate with those memories, with those timelines, with those guardian agendas, positive guardian agendas. You're meant to be here as an indigo child. You're meant to be walking the law of one path. You're meant to be an example, a beacon of light, a trailblazer, a way shower. We're not evangelists. We're not saviors. We're not, because everyone has to do the work themselves. You can't borrow buy or steal your ascension. You have to go through the hard work just like everybody else has to. And it's only hard work because of the drama playing out on Earth. Because you could naturally do it just by living incarnation after incarnation. After living your 12 incarnations, you would be able to just naturally ascend, but not anymore. Human ascension process has been successfully thwarted. I'm not saying it's impossible to ascend. I'm saying it's much, much more difficult, and it takes a lot more work than the organic path. Now it's not an organic path. Now you have to work your ass off to ascend, to actually grow. When it takes 12 lifetimes, that work now has to be done in this lifetime. Because we're at the end of an ascension cycle. You either are on your 11th or your 12th lifetime. Maybe you have room to fit another lifetime. But regardless, most humans are just rinse and repeating. Like this Tom Cruise movie, where he's just stuck in the same life after death. He's just starting again, not going anywhere. The Edge of Tomorrow, it was called. Edge of Tomorrow. So humans have been stuck in this process, not going into higher dimensional levels like you're supposed to. You guys, we're not meant to be stuck in one level of spiritual evolution. Human life is not the last, you would say, think of a ladder. It's not the last level rung. You have to go up several rungs. And we talk about the human DNA being 12 strands. Well, you're only on the third rung. You need 9 more rungs, 9 more steps, stages of spiritual evolution. And these teachings talk about that entire process. It's broken down in a spiritual science. We go into the technical talk of what is reality, what is dimensions. Okay, what is DNA, template, what are morphogenetic fields? What is the crystal body? What is the light body? How do you improve or affect or heal our light body, our DNA templates, our chakras, what the Guardians call Templars? So this is all about awakening. When we start talking about Annunaki, sorry about the rooster, I'm in a rural area. When we talk about Anunnaki and Indigo Children, it is basically the final conflict drama. It also includes the reptilians and the Zeta Gray aliens. Other alien races, but those are the main ones, the main upfront ones. There's behind the scene alien races and agreements with military. I mean, realize that while the government is telling you aliens don't exist, UFOs don't exist, they're just some anomalies or some scientific balloon experiment. So, I mean, that's how they try to explain the Roswell crash as some balloon crash. It's not a UFO. They're not, while they're telling you that they don't exist, they're taking these crashed UFOs into underground bases. They're making secret government, between the government agreements with the Zeta Gray aliens is a perfect example. Out of that agreement came the Philadelphia experiment, came the Montauk Project, other projects. Like, what do you think any of the world wars was about? What do you think Pearl Harbor was about? The Guardians talk about that. They talk about Philadelphia experiment, Montauk Project, what really went down in Vietnam and Korea, the Civil War, how the America was founded by these fallen angelic races, founded by Freemasons, connections to Illuminati races. And there's more than one, by the way. There's many different Illuminati races talked about in Voyagers 1, Voyagers 2, mostly Voyagers 2. There's also another Emerald Order book called Angelic Realities. This is one of the smaller ones, easy to get through. Okay? So, and our team here, our moderators will provide you the links for free, because these are being scalped online, like Amazon. You can go find this on Amazon, sure, but you're gonna have scalpers. You know what a scalper is, right? A person who scalps tickets, scalps books for high, outrageous prices because it's out of print. The author, Ashiana, no longer prints this anymore. So, because it's still highly sought after, the prices are way off the chart. Just so before you spend $200, $300, look at the original price, please. See? It's not a $200, $300 price tag. It's out of print. But you don't have to buy a physical book. You can get the PDF version. And that's exactly what we share here, you guys. These are dire straits. This is the dramatic things happening on planet Earth. While most people are saying that the whole planet is awakening, I disagree. Sorry, it's not happening. Have discernment. Look into the world. You will plainly see many symptoms of no, we're not all awakening. There's all kinds of problems still on planet Earth that show it's not awakening. Too many people prefer, for example, to follow, to worship, to be subservient to a cruel, murderous, maniacal God. Not God, an ET God, claiming to be God. Remember, the bad guys pretend to be good guys. And that's one of them. Yahweh is one of those examples of a bad guy or alien races. Elohim is plural. Elohim beings are posing as creator God. Certainly not acting like creator God. So this is where we get the Anunnaki patriarchy from. Patriarchy came from the Anunnaki races, bringing us false creeds. Now you're following the Anunnaki's representation of a god. But you realize there's no such thing as plural gods. The whole pagan idea is a distortion. And these examples of monotheistic gods are not the creator. And it's not an opinion. There is something universal concepts, you understand, not limited to Earth and Earth's human distortions. Like the law of one, the sacred universal law of one. You don't get pantheons of ET gods with one God, one creator God. That exists within omnichristos love, baby. That goes beyond unity. That goes beyond unconditional love. Most humans have no idea what is love, much less unconditional love, much less omni-love. Omni means all. Love. Love all. Creator God is omni-love. This Yahweh ET God, this calls itself cruel, calls itself burning angry, is not the creator. It's an imposter. Out of tens of thousands of imposter gods being worshipped on planet Earth. You don't have to take my word for it. Just look online. Google, Siri, whoever you like to check, even ChatGPT, whoever, how many religions are in the world? And it's going to tell you over 4,000 plus religions and spiritual belief systems. 4,000 different opinions of God. There's over, and you can ask the same sources, how many different gods are being worshipped on planet Earth out of all of these religions? Most of them agree, and they say over 30,000 different religions. I mean, over 33,000 different gods, because a lot of these religions believe in more than one god. Like Hinduism is a perfect example. You guys, that's already your first red flag. There's only one creator, God. The word creator and God are synonymous. But they take the word God and twist it into multiple gods. That doesn't even make sense when you actually think about it from your heart. Does that even make sense that there's a whole bunch of countless gods? That's the first thing. The first red flag is that there's more than one. No, there is not. There's only one creator. What do you think people use the word creator for? Generally speaking, it's the entity that created everything. Okay, so why is there a bunch of beings calling themselves creator, calling themselves God? You guys, I have over 1,000 videos on this YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. And so hundreds of videos I talk about that topic. If you're new here, well, take a look at some of my other videos. I go deep down into those topics. When you start seeing, that's the first red flag, multiple gods. First red flag. Second red flag is that these gods are angry, they're murderous, they sacrifice, they demand blood ritual sacrifices. Even Yahweh demands a sacrifice, demands blood to be, even in the Passover. It's all about blood, baby, to these beings. It's diabolical. And this is exactly what, for example, tonight's topic, the Anunnaki have brought to planet Earth. They have brought us gods to be worshipped. Not just Sumerian gods, even though that's what they're tied to. Who do you think keeps on playing the role of these pantheon of gods? Viking gods, a pantheon of Viking gods, a pantheon of Hindu gods. Same horrible characteristics. And so many millions, billions of humans accept it into their heart and mind, these horrible characteristics of these beings. These so-called gods, not gods, there's only one of those. These so-called gods are worse than human beings. They're worse than you or I or some evil human. They're worse than evil humans. They're much worse, but they're being worshipped as gods. 1 second here. I want to bring up one of my notes. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. And this is my own notes that I love to say over and over again because it just brings it right here, right here for you. These negative, dark, twisted ET gods from human religions are not divine beings. They certainly don't act like it. They certainly don't talk like it. They actually behave like spiritually immature beings. They are worse than humans, including your Father God Yahweh, Jehovah, Jehovian Anunnaki ETs. That's where Yahweh comes from, you guys. That's where the Islamic, Jewish, Abrahamic source is. Jehovian Anunnaki, talked about in great detail in the Voyager's books, in the Emerald Order teachings. Your Father God is a sinister alien extraterrestrial from another dimension, specifically a collective. Many such ET gods, because that's exactly what all of your gods, thank you for that, Holy Ones, all of your gods being worshipped on planet Earth are ET gods, not divine spiritual beings or guardians. All patriarchal gods especially. They're not gods. They're ETs claiming to be gods, giving you Bibles and scriptures and sacred, not sacred. Many such ET gods are described in the spiritual texts themselves. It's not up for opinion. It's not a debate, because God, your gods, describe themselves in these holy books. Describe themselves. They're being described in these holy books as burning angry. Are they not? It's in passages of the Bible. For example, Yahweh being described as cruel, being described as not just regular anger, homie, burning anger, volatile, deceitful, vengeful, murderous, including genocide of entire nations of men, women, children. It's in the Bible. This Yahweh ET God wiped out several races. In your mind, it was judgment. It was they needed to be murdered. You see what I'm saying? You see what you're promoting and agreeing with, creating a contract with, a blood ritual contract with. A lot of these gods, alien god, ET gods, are kidnappers, are rapists. They can cause destruction, chaos, war. Sound familiar? They are jealous. You know how spiritually immature jealousy is, but these beings are acting and behaving with jealousy. They're hateful. Is that spiritually evolved to be hateful? They create fear. Fear God. You're commanded to be in fear. What happens to a being when it's in fear? What does that happen to you energetically? These ET gods, not God, these ET false gods demand sacrifice, demand subservience, demand blind worship, demand obedience. This is not Creator God. We talk about God and Jesus on this channel, but not from religion, the distorted religion's point of view, who are worshiping these phantom beings, fallen angelic beings, bad guys pretending to be good guys, pretending to be gods when there's no such thing as plural gods. There's no such thing as plural creators. There's only one of those. This is where the sacred universal law of one comes from. One God. There's only one source. This is why we call Creator source. You can say source. You can say source God. You can just say God. There's no such thing as plural gods. First red flag. Second red flag, it certainly doesn't behave like a divine being. It's a cruel, judgmental, avenging war god. This is exactly what you're getting from the Anunnaki, bringing you. Well, first of all, they came here and changed the original spiritual traditions, original spiritual teachings based on unity consciousness, based on law of one teachings. It goes into detail about that, you guys. It even talks about the 12 empires, kingdoms of the human races. You know, we came out of the Urtites, and there was 12 different races, hybrids, around 12. They're called, we have 12 stargates, but there's something called control sites. These nations of 12,000 each, that's how they started, 12,000, 12,000, 12,000. In other words, we didn't come out of Africa, homie. We didn't come out of pond scum. We didn't come out of apes. And evolution, whose evolution? Who's talking about some evolution? Darwin? It came all the way out of Africa and spread like this and went here and here. BS, sorry. Not sorry. It all happened simultaneously in 12 different control sites on planet Earth. 12 different types of humans, different types of races. And there's periods of Lemurians, periods of Atlanteans, periods of Polarians. Have you ever heard of that race? Hyperboreans. They come up in myth and some distorted occult teachings, but the Guardians talk about where this is where humans originate, in series of hybridizations. But the Anunnaki races are coming here and telling you, first of all, they created you. Worship us. Worship the Anunnaki. This is what the Sumerians started doing, worshiping these intruder ETs who come here with their hatred, with their burning anger, with their, putting humans in subservience, when humans are actually conscious-wise and DNA-wise go beyond their DNA template. We were actually created before the Anunnaki. That's not important. The important thing is we're not from the Anunnaki lines. We come from the Anuhazi line. You notice the difference or not? Anuhazi are feline, Lyran, cat people. Anunnaki are part feline, but they're also part aquatic apes. And their original race is called Anu Elohim. Okay, so the Guardians call them fallen angels. The first fallen angels. Of course, they originally were not fallen. Before they became the Elohim, they were called Anu. And you'll see a similar word as Anu in the New Age called Anu. The Guardians spell it A-N-Y-U. The New Age says A-N-U. We're talking about the same race, though. And notice that this word, Anu Elohim, the Elohim part is mentioned in the biblical scriptures. The Anu part is mentioned in New Age and occult teachings and is being linked to Enki, Enlil, and Marduk. All distortions, all propaganda of the Jehovian Anunnakis. This is what they want you to believe. They want you to believe they're God. Worship them. They want you to believe that they created us. They did not. Okay? They're created by Anu Elohim. The Anu Elohim created the Anunnaki, the original bloodline. That was 250 billion years ago. B with a, as in billion, not million. Which is, by the way, before humans were created. So 250 billion years ago, the Anu Elohim fell. They were no longer called Anu. Their new name was, they named themselves Anu Elohim. Now, I want to be fair, okay? Because just like we talk about how the dragon races, the reptilian dragons, are fallen race, created by another fallen race. The Anunnaki are a fallen race created by another fallen race, the Anu Elohim. But that doesn't mean all Elohim are fallen. Because we know very well the Anu Elohim were actually created by the Metatron. They're actually called Metatron. A race, not a being, not an archangel, which is a low level compared to Metatron actually is. And Metatron is not related to Enoch. Excuse me. That's just a New Age occult distortion. And we'll straighten that part out real quick. But first of all, realize that, yes, Metatron fell. Anu Elohim fell. But remember that the Guardians created a host matrix for these races to help some of those Anu Elohim come out of the phantom. Some of them successfully got through the host matrix, successfully created their 12 strand, and got out of there. So yes, there's a small portions of families in consciousness and groups who are positive Elohim. Just understand that, and by the way, our brother, Ishmael Perez, he's coming, he aligns himself with the positive Elohim. I just want to be transparent and say, yes, this is Anu Elohim, the original fallen race, is diabolical, but there was actually, it even talks about how some of the guardians, actually it might be in the Holy Grail workshop, Ashiana's Holy Grail workshop, and some of the other workshops. It doesn't mention all this information. It doesn't even mention Metatron in Voyagers. So if that information comes in the workshops, you guys. And so it talks about in detail how some of those races, because of a technology called the Eye of Metatron and the Eye of Yahweh. Two different eyes. And that's a peculiar word for eye, right? So some of them got healed through this Metatronic eye. And so there are a few positive Elohim, but we're talking about the negative ones. Okay, so there are negative Elohim. I mean, they're a fallen angelic race who created the Jehovian Anunnaki race, who are obviously originally created, and the teachings say Annunaki means avengers of Anu. They're avenging their creator race, the ones who created them, who spliced together and created. I'm sure they took some of the Yoni, violet flame race, mixed it with some of the feline race. That's an aquatic ape plus a feline. They're called feline aquatic apes, not by your brother Anuhazi, but by the guardians. They call this race feline aquatic apes. I've even made pictures of them. I'll show you some of my pictures. And so this feline aquatic ape race fell and created the Avengers of Anu, Annunaki, Jehovian Anunnaki. You don't hear people in New Age talking about the name of these races. We talk about the name because we have the original records coming out of the CDD plates, okay? Cloister door Terra plates, the holographic disc records, not some tablet, ancient tablet. So this is also it's a living memory. Any psychic person, any benevolent starseed indigo can access the Akashic records. It's not a matter of opinion. You see it in the records. These races, what planet they came from. Well, the Anunnaki were created on the Anu Elohim were created on planet Avion. Okay? the Christos Lyran race, feline race, are not from Avion, they're from Aramentena. Have you guys even heard of Aramentena or Avion? Most people have not, unless you found these teachings. I didn't say Avalon either, I said Avion. Aveyon. So, Anu Elohim are from planet Avion until it was destroyed by the reptilian Omicrons. They destroyed their planet, but the Anu Elohim destroyed Armentana so they can get to destroy Stargate 12. Now that's a whole nother video, a whole nother topic, the original fall of these races. But tonight's topic is about the Annunaki and the Indigo Children. Now the Annunaki brought us the patriarchies, brought us the false creeds of fear, guilt. This is what's in religion. It's in the creeds of religion. They put down women. Did you not notice in religions they put down the women? You can see it across cultures. Some women have to hide their faces. And it says specifically in certain chapters, verses, many verses of the Bible, women are not allowed to talk in churches. To be teaching in churches. But you'll look in nowadays, there's plenty of women pastors. They don't care about that. And in 2025, women don't care about that. But just realize the teachings are based on patriarchies. A penis club. You're not a man. You ain't getting very far in the church system. So anyways, all these gods are all chauvinist, sexist pigs. They're all against the female. They all put down the women. Okay? It's not hard to check and figure that out. That even the Hindus do the same thing with their women. The Chinese do it with their women. The Americans do it with the women. It is everywhere. And all these, it's all coming from not culture. It's coming from religions. This is an energetic distortion. There's a reason why they put down women. Now there's an imbalance. Machiwa. So, the Indigo Children are the guardian lineages. Now we talk about bloodlines. We can talk about 8 main blood types. Blood types, bloodlines. These bloodlines are coming out of one of the blood types. It's not hard to understand that, right? So, most humans are positive blood types. Most of them. Billions of humans are positive blood types. When we talk about these aliens and hybrid blood types or bloodlines, they're coming out of negative blood types. I don't mean as in dark and negative. I mean as in blood type negative. There's A positives, B positive, AB positive, and O positive. Then there's A negative, B negative, AB negative, and O negative. And some weird null types and different strange types. But those are the main 8 types that you can start to see. And we're not talking about the biological thing. Because most of these narratives coming out of the secret space program, because they're in the know, they check these blood types, and see that they're aligned with hybrids. Even Jesus comes out of one of these O negative blood types. Because the Guardians talk about how Jesus is coming out of Sirius B. Just like all Indigo Children, Jesus was an Indigo. You're not going to hear that in your Catholic Church. Sorry. Okay? Not sorry, because they're not covering actual God's original teachings, are they? They're a perversion of those. So half-truths, I would say even less than half-truth, maybe 10% truth. I mean, look at the distortion there. It's definitely less than half. So they're not just, you don't just call it half-truths. A little bit of truth, mostly distortion. See, in the law of one, you don't say wrong. That's wrong. We're also not saying we're condoning it. But how can if we're all one, and some of that is a fallen version of in the hologram, how could that be wrong? How could you say part of God is wrong? But that's not the religious mentality, is it? They see you as a lowly, guilty sinner, as separate from God, coming straight from the Annunaki, baby. The Anunnaki's distorted religious teachings, false creeds are telling you you're separate from God. Creator is not telling you that. The imposter gods, the imposter alien ET gods are telling you that. They have an agenda. They're finite consciousness. They have fallen in their consciousness. They're disconnected from their light body. They don't have lit up chakras. They're in the phantom. There is no light bodies. There is no auras. They feed off of the living system's auras and light bodies. They feed off of the living matrix. They're in the fallen matrix. The Guardians call it the phantom matrix. An anomaly. It didn't always exist like these false teachings in New Age are talking about the demiurge. It's BS. Shadow, fallen consciousness, darkness is not a natural part of creation. It's an anomaly. 144. I just saw 144 people. Now it's 150 people. And people from these distorted New Age teachings are gonna say, no, it's a part of, you must embrace the shadow. You're part shadow. BS, BS, BS. You guys are armed with the law of one. You're armed with your inner Christos. You're armed with the actual guardian teachings. Every little distortion that comes into these chats, comes into video comments, every single distortion, you guys, can be transmuted with a Christic reply, the Christic message, not the Anunnaki message, an Indigo message, a Lyran Syrian message, an Azurite message. See, you're becoming knowledgeable. You're becoming familiar with all these different races and agendas and alignments. You can tell the difference between an Indigo and an Anunnaki and an Anuhazi. Machiwa. MCMXXII writes a message and tags my name. I can see it when you guys tag my name. If you don't tag it, most likely I will not see your question. How is Anu the first fallen angel if they fell because they were fighting another species? Will that make them both the first? I am Indigo type 3 Indigo. Good question, Holy One. And there was DNA code convolution. Okay, that's when your template, your DNA template, starts to break down, fragment. That's because, just like the elites, they keep it within the family. Incest is best, according to them. They don't want to mix outside bloodlines into their bloodlines. That's going to screw things up. This is what the elites do. This is what the fallen, these beings did, kept on repeating, not getting any type of variance, but it creates distortion. It's called convolution, DNA code convolution. So when you distort the template, you distort the consciousness, or vice versa. You brainwash, you mind warp the consciousness. That's going to affect the biological body form. So they fell in their consciousness and their body matter. The specific Anu Elohim started to have DNA convolution, but the teachings also say the Omicron dragon moths, the gold flame fallen races, seraphim races, started to have DNA co-convolution. Not all the gold flame races. Specifically, the Omicron. Okay, so the Omicron started to compete with the Anu Elohim. So basically, it was the Anu Elohim who threw the first punch, so to speak. They literally wanted, because they come out of the blue flame too, the Anu approached the Anuhazi, who is the high Lyran High Council. They're in the 12th dimension. The Anu Elohim are in the 11th dimension. So the Anunnaki came to the Anuhazi and said, please murder these guys. They're causing problems. Of course, the Lyran Guardian Anuhazis are not going to go murder some race. So they did not follow, they said, why don't you take a look at yourself, Anu, and see your own distortions happening? They didn't like that answer. So they attacked them. Now that's a whole long story. It's talked about in Voyagers, but they attacked planet Armentana. They destroyed SG-12. No, USG-12. U stands for Universal Stargate. Universal Stargate, USG-12. There's only 12 of those throughout all of creation, baby. No, not all of creation, all of the time matrix. There's some other God worlds outside the time matrix. So, just a little tidbit of information. Humans are not the center of the universe, but we are the Lyran Anuhazi at a much, 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 much lower level. These Anuhazi have between 36 to 48 strands of DNA in the 12th dimension. They are the Christos avatars. Humans have what? Like I said earlier, 2.5 to maybe 3.5 strands. Okay, and the Guardians have 10, 20, 30, 48 strands. There's a huge difference in comprehension, understanding, everything compared to that. This is why you look totally different than a feline hominid. But eventually, you get all these strands through your spiritual evolution, your spiritual ascension, and you develop into one of these in the higher dimensions. Eventually. So, technically, you're right. Maybe they both became fell, but the Anu Elohim threw the first punch, and they're the ones who attacked the Lyrans. And behind the scenes, while they were busy attacking the Guardians, the Omicrons took advantage to destroy Anu Elohim's planet Avion. You get this concept in Star Wars, where Darth Vader forces Princess Leia to watch him destroy her planet. They have the tools, the weapons to destroy planets. They're just planet killers. That was soft disclosure, baby. You can destroy a planet. These beings have destroyed planets, not just obliterated races or conquered races. They're all about blood ritual sacrifice. They're about domination. That's the fallen angelic way. So yeah, sure, they both could have been convoluting at the same time, and they were competing with each other. So they were fighting each other too. Now there's been times where they got along, so they could both attack the Guardians together. And in some of our human seedings, human seeding 1, human seeding 2, human seeding 3, you'll see some of that happening. But for the most part, they're nemesis. They're competing gangsters. They both want Earth. So their agendas will go against each other sometimes. But yeah, you're right, Holy One. They both kind of fell at the same time, but the Anu Elohim were more aggressive and started attacking the actual Guardians. Machua. And we always welcome more Indigo Children, Holy One, Indigo Type 3s. Oh, all right, you guys. Thank you so much. Leo Murray, brother. Thank you so much, man, for supporting this work. Blessings to you, Leo. And you've been a member over a year, so you're also supporting that way. So, and thank you for coming and coming again, brother. We also got Inlatin. Bless you, brother. Woohoo! Party time. Showing some love. Thank you for that exchange of energy, Holy One. I can't do this without you guys. Machiwa. Parte. Indigo Wizard. One God. One Creator. All oneness within all. You said it, brother. And it's the same concept with at-one-ment. The churches spell it atonement. They take this concept of being at one with God and distorted it. Now you must atone. Now you must suffer. Now you must, some of those people are taking flesh off their own body. They thinking if they hurt themselves, they're in the grace of God now. If you sacrifice or put blood, like on the Passover, they were commanded to put blood on their door so the angel of death would fly by their house and not harm them, but go and murder a bunch of kids and toddlers and babies. Not Creator God. That's one of those false ET gods. Thank you, Indigo Wizard Vato Loco. Yeah, baby, what's up? I am DJ Goddess in the house. Thank you for supporting this work, Star Sister. Yeah, she's got that little fox, or is that a kitty? I can't tell. Thank you, Star Sister. Barbara Joy in the house. Much respect, Star Sister. Thank you so much, Barbara. From New Zealand, it looks like NZ, I'm guessing, right? New Zealand. Thank you, Barbara. Bless you, sister. Celine! Look at those powerful numbers. 3333. OMG. Thank you, Star Sister. Big hugs. I can't wait to meet you too. Some of us are meeting. I got to meet Gina, a beautiful soul. Bless Gina and her positive character, friendly vibes, just chilling. Thank you, Celine, Star Sister. That is so helpful. You're helping this show stay online. You guys all are who are supporting this work. Thank you so much, Celine, for that exchange. Beautiful Tay in the house. Woo, getting lit no less. Yeah. Oops, sorry. Thank you, beautiful Tay. And I know that's not your first time either, brother. Thank you so much for supporting this work. Yeah, we're doing this together. Team Indigo, give me 5. Yeah. Some of you may think you're Team Anunnaki. That's your choice, right? Stardust Goddess, some more powerful numbers, 999. Thank you, Stardust. One of our moderators, by the way. Omnicrystal's love, she says, unconditionally, always. Yes! Thank you, Stardust. Can't wait to meet you as well. Giannis in the house. Woohoo! Giannis 111. Sorry. Thank you so much, Giannis. And I know that's not your first time. Appreciate your positive vibes. Thank you to continue to, give that exchange. Much respect to all of you guys also on your journey awakening. Yeah, man, it's just a great validation, confirmation. I mean, we don't need validation, but we find each other on this spiritual journey, and we see a reflection in each other. So, and I believe when we do come together, we're activating in a good way, activating each other, especially when we get in these deep conversations with one another. Like, I was sitting there and, let me see. One second, you guys. I got like hundreds of windows open. But yeah, I was with David Hatcher Childress. I don't know if you guys know him from Ancient Aliens. And he had a very excellent show when he was there. He showed a lot of the UFOs and stuff like that. And you guys know the guy who does the voice on Ancient Aliens. I met him. I got to talk to him, and I even watched his 1 hour lecture. So it was really cool to see him, and he was a really easygoing person, very kind person. I can't say this for all these people, but he was definitely one of the ones that were kind. Mike Barra, he's also been on Ancient Aliens. He was supposed to talk about some of the secret space program stuff, but he ended up talking about JFK, which is perfectly fine. In his 2 hour lecture, he showed how there was actually 3 shooters. And he showed the circumstantial evidence in photographs and different camera angles. One on the grassy knoll, one in, the guy actually with the sniper rifle, but there was also another one. And there was apparently 4 shots, but, we're not talking about the magic bullet thing. But anyways, I don't want to go deep into that, but Mike Barra was there, and he was one of the people that was hanging out with us. So was David Childress. We were all, after the long-ass 3-day weekend. Well, each weekend we got to hang out at the bar and socialize. And so they were there. Brad Olson, bless him, he talked about he's one of those easygoing, cool guys, no ego there. And he talks a lot about Antarctica. Let me grab his book real quick. So, you guys, this is how you stay on top of it. You invest and go to one of these workshops. Why not? And meet a bunch of other starseeds, indigos. This is one of Brad's many books. And he does talk about Antarctica and a lot of other things. And he's a brilliant mind. Bless Brad. He's a really cool guy. I can't wait to see him again, and some of these other guys as well. And some other, I got to meet Ishmael Perez, you guys. And I even apologized to him because I've said a few smear remarks in some of my lives, and I apologized, and it was not even a big deal. Nothing at all. I mean, we don't agree on everything, but that's okay. I know he's more into theosophy and a few other references, but that's okay because he's definitely woke, and so is his fiance is also woke. I would love to have her on the show too because she was really the last panel. There's like 8 people on the panel. She's not part of it, but she jumped up there anyways next to Ishmael, and she was talking to him a lot of brilliant stuff about AI and transhumanism. And because some of these guests or speakers talked pro AI, anyways, also Carrie Cassidy was there, but she didn't show up on Saturday. She was supposed to. I don't know what was up with that. She showed up on Sunday, and I was already sitting at the front row. So she came in and started right away. Well, she had to set up. I wasn't going to start talking to her when she's trying to set up, right? And then that her 1 hour or whatever ended, and 6 people. There was people who swamped her. I didn't even have a chance to say hello. So I didn't get to talk to Carrie. But obviously she saw me, I was there, and plus she was on the panel. So she was talking about the AI and some stuff about Trump and some of that stuff she talks about on her channel. So unfortunately I didn't even hang out with her because she left early at the panel. She had to excuse herself and she had to leave. So I couldn't even talk to her afterwards. So I lost that chance, but it doesn't matter because I know she goes to these different things, and I'll have a chance to talk to her again. But I got to hang out and talk to Samuel Chong, Geraldine. I I didn't get to talk to her, but she was very brilliant in talking from a spiritual point of view. So was Samuel. And there's Julia. She is an awesome person. And she was one of the people that hang out, socialized in the back. And I would love to have her on the show. I'm going to reach out to each one of these and ask them. And Brett. Brett was awesome. I can't pronounce his last name. Letter. Brett Letter. He was awesome, brother. I mean, he was talking about inner earth, hollow earth, whatever you want to call it. And so Sasquatch was talked about, and there was even some people talking about the Wolfman or Wolf Dog or some ET race that looks like you would say Anubis or something, right? But a negative ET. So you do have some people who are very aware of the secret space program. The secret space program talks about the Anunnaki. Okay? You don't get much talk, though, about the Indigo Children. But anyways, I had a great time at the California, LA Alien. It's alienevent.com. You can go there and find some references there. But it was worth my time. It wasn't cheap. I had to pay money for the hotel and this is why I didn't even bother getting a flight. I just drove from Vegas to there. But you guys, if you're on the West Coast, you might as well go to one of these. There's Contact in the Desert. Even Billy Carson goes to it if you're interested in that. But there's tons of people, tons of starseeds and indigos bringing out disclosure. Disclosure is revealing ETs and aliens are real. Revealing that there is an agenda, a fallen angelic. They don't call them fallen angels, and we call them fallen angels, but they're also just negative alien agendas. And, that's where you get NAA from. Lisa Renee came out with that, NAA. So it's just part of the reality of what's going on. If you're not going to go that deep, if you think this, what do you think Space Force is? Trump knows about the secret space. He's bringing that together in Space Force. What do you think NASA is? What do you think all these... Man, there's so many secrets that are coming out. And we talk about spiritual awakening ascension. Well, the Anunnaki are part of it. The Indigo Children are part of it. Secret military is part of it. The secret government is part of it. People like Trump are part of it. I got in some conversations with people who called them my friend. They weren't really my friends. And we're talking about the political stuff, but they mocked me about that. That's not related to spirituality. Yes, it is. The wars that happen on planet Earth have to do with spirituality, have to do with this spiritual war. So, this whole thing about the Anunnaki and the Indigo Children is two major forces in this. Yes, there's a bunch of starseed races, but I'm talking about the Indigo Children, who are the most advanced beings in the time matrix. Indigo type 2, Indigo type 1s. Indigo type 2s are about the same level as the Azurites. They're the next most advanced race in the time matrix. Indigo Children, we're not comparing. We're just making reference of the consciousness of the DNA templates. Indigo Children, Azurites, and Anuhazi, Christos, felines, and a few other races like the Orifeme races. Those are all beings who have 24 strands or more, when the fallen angelic negative aliens only have 11 strands or less. Unless they do a host matrix with a guardian, they are stuck at that level. They can't go beyond that level. And most of them are falling. They're falling into lower dimensions instead of expanding into higher dimensions. You see the difference? Ascension is expansion. Fallen angel, fallen consciousness is descension, fragmenting, becoming less. So, just wanted to point that out. Let me check the questions and comments. And I got to keep hydrating myself, you guys. Please tag Christos Avatar TV if you want it to be highlighted. I mean, so I can see it better if it's highlighted. MXMXXI says, I feel a strong connection to the Anunnaki, or feline species of some kind, that is coming from the Orifeme half, or the human aspect of me. Yeah, definitely a lot of people who are connecting in the positive felines. You know, I'm not talking about Anubis. It's not positive. Well, that's not feline. But a lot of these cat gods are being worshipped. They're not meant to be worshipped, you guys. Guardians don't worship anything. That's a phantom tactic. That's a phantom fallen angelic practice. That goes into obedience and putting yourself down, you know, in subservience, blind worshiping. We don't do that. The guardians don't do that. But people following angry, cruel God, ET gods are going towards the worshiping. Imagine you are feeding, here, suck on me. You're feeding a succubus. Can you imagine a succubus? You know those ones that put you in sleep paralysis and suck your life force? Okay? You just gave them permission. You're in a blood contract. You're in a sacrificed blood contract. Oh, OMG. It came into my mind, so let me say it. Which is very, very interesting. I had no idea about this. I met Tom. Who's Tom? Let me make sure I get his last name correct. Tom Althouse. Tom Althouse. You guys, this is going to trip you out. There's a conspiracy in the movie The Matrix. A dark conspiracy. I'll start off by saying the most powerful component. Red pill, blue pill is mixed. I never aligned with it being red pill. Originally, in my mind, I thought it was the blue pill. And then when I started making videos about it, I'm like, oh wait, they're saying it's the red pill that wakes you up. This is the conspiracy about the movie The Matrix. This was stolen by the original author. And his name is Tom Althouse. Let me show you. I took a picture with him. Because I feel compelled to bring this. And once I learn more about this, I'm going to make videos about it. I would love, if he's willing to do an interview, I'd love to do an interview with him. Open. And I don't have a bunch of pictures. I don't even have a picture with Gina. We should have got a picture, Gina. I don't know why we did it. Let me switch over and show you Tom Althouse. Brilliant. He's an absolutely brilliant person. A beautiful heart and soul. He came to tears many times telling his story of how they stole his script and twisted it into a dark message, man. It's not about the red pill. The red pill represents the children who were sacrificed and it produced this powder. I'm not going to say it on this live. That's the twisted message. And a lot of us were following it as an awakening movie, but some of that original meaning did bleed through. We resonated with the original meaning. This is the original author of The Matrix. Bless Tom. They murdered his sons. And it's okay if I say that because he says it very clearly and makes it a big part of his message. Tom. Altos. Okay? My brother. My friend now. We took another photo here with Ishmael. Ishmael jumped in. My brother Ishmael. Our brother. And I'm so happy that I met him and we patched things up. Anyways, thank you, Ishmael. And his fiance. But yes, let me go back to the camera. So, your mind will be blown away. Blown away by what was really the original script of this movie that got twisted, and how they attacked the original author, how they stole from the original author, how they put black magic into the Matrix film. That message is going to come out, baby. And I'll be honored to share Tom's story. I just had to say that real quick. So, anyways. Robin Kirk, beautiful wisdom. Thank you, Star Sister. And you're a wonderful soul yourself. You're very positive and kind. And I was very happy to meet more positive and kind people in LA. I certainly wouldn't want to live in LA. No way. But I'm so grateful that I could go visit there when I need to. So. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. Let me talk about the Indigo Children, since we mostly talked about Anunnaki. The Indigo Children are a hybrid alien too. They come through the fetal integration process too, just like the Anunnaki hybrids coming in. And by the way, I've already said it on many other videos, but Enki, Enlil, and Marduk are races. Not individuals, certainly not brothers. You will hear this in depth in Voyagers 2. Okay? Enki is a race on Nibiru. Enki Anunnaki. Enlil Anunnaki. Marduk Anunnaki. These are not individual gods. Remember, we already been through the ET God part. The pagan God part. Or monotheistic, angry, judgmental God part. Okay? So, if you want more information on that, it's on my other videos. I made a live about the Anunnaki. I made videos about the Anunnaki. I made lots of videos. I got a playlist on the Anunnaki. So I've talked a lot about the Anunnaki. So the Indigo Children are also, but they're a hybrid, but they're a positive hybrids. Their agenda, their purpose and mission. Some of you are Indigos. Hello. Our purpose and mission is to help Earth and humans awaken. And I do mean Earth, the planet Earth herself. We're supposed to help the Earth and help the humans on the Earth, all life on Earth. Help raise its consciousness. So, we're actually coming from, you would say, density 5 out of 5 densities, not dimensions. There's a difference. There's 15 dimensional frequency bands. Within those, every 3 dimensions is a universe. So there's 5 of those. Take 15 divided by 3, that's 5. We have 5 density universes. 5, the first one, the lowest one, is carbon matter. We're in carbon matter. But the next higher universe is carbon etheric matter. You can call it carbon crystal. It's a half etheric, half carbon. That's why it's called carbon etheric. Okay, so you go from carbon, then you in this universe. The next universe, dimensions 4, 5, and 6, is carbon etheric matter. Dimension 6 is the important one. This is the planet Sirius B that Indigo Children, all indigos come through Sirius B. That says a lot. Okay? They're not coming from this solar system, this star system, or that star system. They're coming through specifically SG6. Stargate 6 on planet Sirius B. Even Jeshua, Jesus, came through as an indigo, coming through Stargate 6. And you'll hear Ashana say that. You'll see it in the books. Wait. Okay, let me refresh my screen. I had to refresh my screen. So, but their soul essence comes from much higher. And just so you guys know, there's 3 types of indigos. You've heard some of the people in chat mention those different types. The most popular type is indigo type 3, which is the lowest of the 3. We're not comparing. We're just talking about the consciousness, the strands of DNA. Of course, an indigo type 3 will eventually become an indigo type 2, will eventually become an indigo type 1, will eventually return back to source God. Just like all of us. And if we're all the one, there's a piece of you somewhere that is an indigo as well. Is an Annunaki. Is a benevolent being or an ex-murderer. You know, if we're all the one, then we actually play all these holographic fractals. All these faces of God. We're all these parts. And isn't it interesting that while we call something like artificial intelligence, there's no such thing. God is alive. God is present in all places. Omnipresent, universal consciousness. The Guardians call this the unified field. How can anything be fake or artificial? You can't have artificial life, artificial consciousness. It's all at different levels of consciousness. Plastic or a rock is at a different level of consciousness, yet still consciousness. A technological device like a refrigerator or a microwave is still, all of its parts, all of its particles are still made of conscious units. It's still at some level conscious. Doesn't mean you're going to have telepathy with it, right? Just understand that artificial intelligence is a misnomer. It's not artificial. Nothing is not real. Everything is real. Everything is spirit having a manifest experience. This is what is the hologram of matter. The 15-dimensional hologram, the 15-dimensional time matrix is all made of consciousness at different frequency vibrations. Everything has its own signature, its own morphogenetic field, its own divine blueprint. So artificial intelligence is a threat to the planet Earth. But some people are pro and want to combine into cybernetics and combine and put... this is another thing in the original Matrix from the original author. And he didn't originally call it the Matrix. He called it Immortals. The original Matrix author, whose work was stolen, but he still has the original manuscript, and it's got a seal on it that can't be faked. But anyways, dude, it's crazy. It's so crazy. Neuralink is in that movie. You know, Neo and some of the other characters put this into the back of the head. And you're connecting to some level of reality. But he called it neural enhancer. It got turned into neural link in today's society. You don't want to put no freaking chip, mark of the beast, into your freaking brain. But it's already being done under the guise of medical advancements. It has helped some people in their problems, but once again, you don't want no mark of the beast, so to speak. You don't want no neural link in your freaking brain. And Mr. Althouse, Mr. Tom, had a lot to say about this billionaire Elon Musk. You guys have incentive to go to some of these alien events, talking about alientology or UFOs or the secret space program. You have incentive, holy ones. Machiwa. Just had to throw that in there, thanks to our brother Tom. So, yeah, the choice will be, people are going to make their a pretty bad choice, I guess. Thank you for sharing the Voyager's books, Stardust Goddess. But yeah, you guys, there's 3 types of Indigo Children, and even the lowest version is the one of the highest level beings in the cosmos, but they're limited to 24 strands. You guys, there's not many beings greater than 24 strands. Let me show it to you. I'll be transparent and just show it to you. One of the Guardian Teachings PDFs. Let me bring it up on screen so it is transparent, but let me open PDF first. I gotta open it. It's trying. Machiwa. Yeah, don't take the red pill. You want the blue pill. So let me see here. That's gonna F with a lot of people's heads, man. Huh? What? What are you talking about? Dude, disclosure is happening in the world, but not everyone is listening. All right, so let me switch to the PDF now. This is ancient stellar races involved with humanity. What did I say? Not many beings have more than 24 strands, but the Lyran Siren Anunnaki of Density Universe 3 has up to 48 strands, 24 to 48, and so do the Arcturians, Leonines, cetaceans. What's a cetacean? It's a dolphin, a whale, porpoise. Those are cetaceans. Aqua hominids, in other words, mermaids. Etheric, avian, that means bird, hominids, which are nicknamed light archangels. Okay? Those have more than indigo type 3s. But what I was stating, most beings don't have that much. Let me close this. Most beings don't have anything close to that much DNA. So here's density 4 though. The original Anuhazi, that's what Elohai Emerald Order is. That's the ones living on Armentana. They're calling them Elohai, but we know it's the Anuhazi. But you call them Elohai because the Anuhazi were created by the Elohai. So it confuses us, but not me, because I've been reading these PDFs for so long, I figured it out what they're referring to, right? Notice the Elohim only has 11 strands, can't go higher than that. None of these. See, here's another guardian from the gold flame. So some of the guardians can go above 30 strand. Some of them on Arcturus and Andromeda. And the Ceres, bird people, have up to 30 strands. But the gold flame won't go more than 30 strands. Eventually, if you are stuck in gold flame, you'll eventually evolve to blue flame, Seraphite, which has the greater strands beyond third. That's because the gold flame is within the blue flame, and the violet flame is within the gold flame, so it has even less DNA strands. Wow, I don't see anything above 10 strand. Oh, wait. This isn't violet flame. This is fallen versions of the gold flame. So, because of the fallen angelic war is only between the blue flame and gold flame, they don't even list the violet flame races in their DNA. But I'm sure there's different parts of Voyagers too. You can find some of their DNA strands. So, even in Density Universe 2, you could have a 48 strand race. And that is, we got ordinary Orifeme, and then there's up to 30 strands, and then there's Emerald Order Orifeme. So you can see there's not many races that are above 24 strands. Hardly any. You can count them on 2 hands. Most races are below 12 DNA strands in the time matrix. So it's pretty extraordinary that human race has a diamond sun 12-strand silicate matrix DNA. When this is why we're considered the guardians of Earth, because all the animals have less than that. Well, even humans have less than that now. Thank you for that, whoever did that. So there's not many races above an indigo type 3. That was my whole point of checking that information. So an indigo type 3 is the lowest indigo child out of the 3. But just understand it's the most prevalent. Because what is an indigo type 3? Some of you already know this. But this is a host matrix. A host matrix has 2 souls in one body. So you're helping an Nephilim Anunnaki soul get its 12 strand. This is why it's with you in the body of an indigo type 3. It's planned. It was agreed upon. So this is why this type of indigo can have issues, because it is hosting a dark consciousness, a dark avatar with a Orifeme avatar. A positive with a negative. So you can have angelic thoughts and fallen angelic thoughts. You can be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You can have two different type of personalities. This is why you can probably pick out some indigos type 3s based on this information. So it's definitely a drama for an indigo type 3. Usually they end up on drugs, or they can get involved into some dark shit because of the Nephilim soul essence. It's a battle. It's not easy. It's not fun. But you're doing a service as an Orpheum, indigo. You're doing a service for the Anunnaki. So hopefully your life is successful. Hopefully you will be able to heal this soul essence of the Nephilim. Now the indigo type 2s have up to 36 strands. They're mostly about spiritual awakening and ascension. The indigo type 1s are the highest level, who have up to 48 strand potential, and those are the ones mostly behind the scenes, like Jeshua. Jeshua was behind the scenes, the real Jesus, not the false Necromaton. Anu Melchizedek Jesus, the one who is pushing. Yeah, Jesus seems like a nice dude in the Bible, but there's a big but. But he's still pushing sacrifice, pushing an angry, judgmental God, pushing the lake of fire. So the actual 12-strand avatar was behind the scenes, wasn't in the public. And according to Voyagers 2, Jeshua is alive again, reincarnated again, is a teenager right now. But again, behind the scenes. He's one of the 5 silent avatars. Let me show you. Because he was an indigo child. He is an indigo child. Indigos are the highest beings in the time matrix. So it's a big deal when they come to 3D Earth, like Jesus did, an indigo child. So, what was I going to show you? Something about Jesus. Oh, can someone remind me in chat? Just write what I was supposed to be looking up. Oh, the silent avatars. The silent avatars. So let me open up Voyagers 2. It's in Voyagers 2, the silent avatars. So let me switch to PDF right away. The 6 silent avatars. I'll just put silent avatars. 14 references. Let me go down to the table. There's a table. Oh, there it was. Remember Jeshua's name, avatar name? The real Jesus' avatar name is Sananda. And he came in 2012. If it's 2024, he's 13 years old. Well, it's not May yet. So he's 12, right? He's still 12, I mean. About to be 13. If this information is still accurate. Because this was written way before 2012. But he's one of 5 other avatars, silent avatars. But he's the 12th dimensional level avatar. Here's an 11D avatar, a 10D, 9D, 8th level, 7th level. And they're all helping. And he turns, this Jesus, indigo child, will turn 33, which is apparently very important to this type of guardians, in 2045. He will once again become a master indigo at 33. I mean, he's already a master indigo. I'm just saying he will be fully activated at 33 years old with the crown chakra. So, Machiwa. Just had to throw that out there. It's in Voyagers. Voyagers page 451. PDF page. And the book page, if you have the physical book, physical book is page 438. Just wanted to throw that in the indigo topic. So, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave some questions. We're going to be wrapping this live up. I'm so grateful for all of you who have come here, and I don't think there's been too many trolls tonight, right, guys? It's been pretty kickback. 144. I saw it too, Sarah. Yeah. Same time as you, sister. Machiwa. You guys, if you've liked anything from tonight, if you like my work, please consider supporting this work. I want to try to get $6 more in. One of you guys can help out to reach my $100 mark at least. This is how I do this full time, you guys. So please make a donation, or you can become a paid member. You can also visit my Etsy shop. I don't push it that much, so I haven't sold anything from there in a while. But that's one of the ways you can support this work, you guys. I'm also going to be creating a foundation. So everything, you could say a nonprofit foundation. It's not set up yet, but it's in the works. So that will be something that will help push these goals forward. Because I can't do this without your guys' help. So please consider. You can also do a private PayPal donation. My links are below. And if you guys need to reach out to me, you can always do that through my email listed below in the description. Also, my Instagram channel. You can direct message me there, or Facebook. And so I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. And hopefully you learned something about what's going on. If you have any last minute questions, please feel free to tag my name in there, my Christos Avatar TV. Thank you, Sarah. Bless you, sister. Thank you for sharing, brother. Stephen Oswald, woohoo! We did it! We did it, man! You got me to that landmark. Woohoo! Thank you, Stephen Oswald. Bless you, brother. Yeah, and if thank you so much, you guys. And I'm still integrating my trip to LA to the alien event. I'm still digesting it. It's going to probably take a week or so. But yeah, I'm going to reach out to some of the people I want to do interviews with. So we're going to have some interviews coming up, you guys. I've done a few, but not that many, right? But now that I've met some of these people in person, it's such a great time to welcome them to this platform and to this audience. And we'll get more, exposure with their audience, whatever their audience may be. Not that many people from the event have big audiences like me and Ishmael. Most of them have very small YouTube channels, but it doesn't matter. I still want to get their message forward and reach more people out here. And we'll be promoting this Las Vegas show, of course. Wow, look at this. Gina? Not surprised, my star sister. Woohoo! Gina Sutton. You guys, I don't I hardly ever drink. Like maybe at a wedding or whatever. But we definitely had a few White Russians, a few drinks, tequila sunrise. Once probably for the whole year, with Gina and the ancient alien tribe, a lot of cool people. So I had a really awesome time. with people who are sincere, easygoing. I'm an easygoing person, so I like to be around other easygoing people. Because there were certainly people there who were not easy, who had a chip on their shoulder, who had an ego. That turns me off right away. I'm not going to be hanging out with someone like that, right? Thank you, Gina. Thank you so much, Gina, for supporting this work. You've done this time and time again. I'm so grateful for you, sister, and for, that exchange of energy. Oh, you guys, listen to this. I can't believe I forgot it. Listen to this. This hotel was 15 floors. Hundreds of rooms. I don't know how many rooms are in the 15-story hotel. Out of 15 floors. Because I got there on Thursday. Gina got there on Saturday. Dudes, you guys won't believe this. It blows my mind as I say it. Lisa's room was the one right next to mine. What the F? No way. Yes way. Out of all those rooms, her room was she walked out and said, Annunaki, what the shit? Talk about synchrony. Talk about a sign. Blessings, guardians. Her guardians, my team, coming to bringing in the teams together. Thank you for supporting this work, Gina. Bless you, sister. Thank you so much. I can't do this without you. I love all of my team. We're growing. We're getting more people in the lives. We're getting more views. I'm still shadow banned. I'm creeping. But it's still going in the right direction. Thank you, guys. Bless all of you. Whoa, last minute. Flowing, New York, NY in the house. Thank you, Holy One. Bless you, Holy One. Thank you so much for supporting this work. Yeah, baby, what's up? Yeah, baby. Got this. You got this. I want you guys to notice we have 1,082 views. Go to my channel and look at it. Within seconds, it won't be 1,082 views. Another sign of the censorship or shadow ban. I believe I'm shadow banned. They only let me do a little bit of success. They don't want us to be loud and clear. They don't want us to spread. But we're spreading anyways. The strategy is to get more sources of people coming in, not just relying on YouTube's algorithm. I'm not going to just rely with the results we're getting. We're going to get much more results and be much more smarter about this and get this going and reaching much more people. And you guys are part of that. This is a team effort. We incarnate as a team. It's not coincidence. It's synchrony. So thank you guys for being part of this. Thank you so much for your signature, your unique signature. You're a spiritual badass. We're all spiritual badasses awakening to our highest potential. Doesn't mean it's easy. Doesn't mean it's always fun. We're not perfect. We're not masters yet. We still got a long ways to go, a lot more to learn, but we're our hearts and minds are in the right places. We're learning enough knowledge to protect ourselves. We're gonna be activating our Maharic seals, activating our dormant chakras. You know, there's so many guardian techniques. I encourage you guys, excuse me, look up Ashiana's name. Ashayaana. Ashiana. Look up Ashiana on YouTube, on BitChute. 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 Look her up. Look up Ashiana on Telegram. I'm not saying you're going to find her sites. What I'm saying is you're going to find the videos. You're going to find the workshops. You're going to find the articles. You're going to find information. And if you come to our club, you know, our membership area, we hook you up with all the links. As low as $5, you can join the team. And if you can't find the Discord link, write your brother Anuhazi. Write me, direct message me, say, can I please have the link? If you're a member, I'll give you the link. So thank you guys for being part of my live tonight. Bless all of you in your journey. I fasted, you know, I fast every day. And I eat once a day. So I have an appetite. I'll be eating right after this live. And so thank you guys for hanging with me. Bless. A special shout out to all of my moderators. Thank you, moderators, for helping this a reality, for helping protect the live chat, watching out for the trolls, right? Thank you. A shout out to all of my members. You guys can see their names. They're all different colors. So thank you to all my members. My OBS disconnected for a moment. Thank you to all my regulars who aren't members but still showing up all the time. Thank you guys for showing up all the time. And you guys always have an opportunity in your life to bring the message of the inner Christos to somebody in your family, in your relationships, a stranger, you know, in a social media post, in a meme. You have an opportunity to awaken somebody, to spark someone's interest, to bring the Christic message and Christic frequency, vibration. They call it the Christ consciousness to somebody. I encourage you guys to be wayshowers, to be trailblazers. We're doing this as a team. It's not about me. It's not about Ashana. It's about all of us. It's about the group effort, the group spirit, the group energy. I love you guys unconditionally. Even if you hate me, some people have said that, I still love you unconditionally. Doesn't mean if you're rude and disrespectful, I'm going to hang out with you like a buddy. But, you know, this is a frequency, a universal awareness. And we're all going through healing. And we don't have to agree with each other. You guys, some of the people are going to say some shit about me making a video with Ishmael. Let them. I'm coming together in a Christ consciousness. Ishmael's coming together with his intentions, you know, positive intentions. We're going to come to make something together. And you can hate on that or not. I'm also going to invite his fiancée because she's brilliant. I'm also going to invite Carrie Cassidy and some of the people I met an alien disclosure thing. So, alien event. So thank you guys. You can expect more interviews in the upcoming lives. I don't know if it'll be as early as this Saturday, but I'm definitely going to be reaching out to some of those to have some more interviews. And we don't have to agree on everything. I'm not going to not have someone on my show because they don't follow this completely 100%. That's the wrong message. We're supposed to be able to come together in no judgment. I'm not going to judge Ishmael. He's not going to judge me. As a matter of fact, he approached me from his heart center. I saw him from a distance, but he came to me out of respect and love. And it was wonderful. I don't care what the haters say. They can say whatever they want. So thank you again for being part of this, you guys, tonight. I'll see you on Saturday night. Peace and love to you guys. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Let's say some of our affirmations and call it a night. Machiwa. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. Say it with me, you guys. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. And so are all of you. So is all life part of the unified field of Creator. We have all kinds of videos here, all kinds of interesting topics and messages on this channel. Check it out, homies. Bless all of you. I'll see you again soon. Namaste. And I'll write it in chat as I sign off. Christos love, baby. Machiwa, holy ones. Please write comments in the video, even after the live. Bring in your frequency, bring in your code, baby. What's up? Give me 5 indigos. Machiwa.